to make sure everything is going to be working. Of course, it's a live stream. It's waiting for it to start. Okay. Originally, what happened is we just tried the stream a second ago, and it was sending data to, of course, I'm using this program called Restream.io, which is like a service. I'm streaming actually to DLive, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. It was sending data to some of the platforms, but not all of them, which really baffles me. But anyway, just got to check it from time to time to make sure it's working. Let's see. Okay, so we do appear to be live now. So everything's good. I believe we've been live for about 47 seconds. Yep, Twitch is working. Everything's working. Everything's set up. Let me just go ahead and post this link here. So if someone wants to join the stream, they can. Because I do want to have like kind of like an open kind of forum thing going on. So let's see. Yep, so this is what you're going to want to click on if you wanted to join the stream. So that's that. And what's happening now is just trying to, of course, open up a broader discussion about poetry. And of course, this is going to be done via live stream. It's kind of like, you know, what I do for my job every day is customer service representative. So I do talk to everyone a lot of the time. And it's kind of like a different kind of thing with the live stream. But anyway, I do see myself as kind of like eventually someone who's going to be not just like an entertainer, but someone who promotes like an art form that means something to people, you know. Okay. Let's see. And I think the best way to do that is by just having like a live stream where everyone can participate and discuss whatever they want to discuss. So that's why I'm doing this. Of course, so far I haven't had much interaction with these things, but of course, as time goes on, when you start streaming and go live on multiple platforms, that does change over time. Let's see. I just want to tell everyone they can use this link to join the stream. Okay, that's been posted. Okay, so I just posted that to, of course, all the streams, of course, DLive, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. The thing that sucks the most about this is when the stream actually kind of fails. It's like you think you're recording it, but then it just stops streaming to the places you want to stream to. But it does look like we have good stream health now. Of course, you know, when the internet connection goes out, such as like the power or electricity or internet has a failure, that can cause problems. But anyway, let's see. Something I've been really interested in is getting to read a lot of poets who are kind of like outside of the mode of what I usually am familiar with. This would, of course, include, you know, older poets who, not older poets, but poets from like an older time period, such as like the one that comes to mind the most is John Keats. So, you know, like poems that have like really strict structure, and then you have Shakespeare, who everything he wrote pretty much was a sonnet. Let's see. Let me just check to see if he wrote anything else but sonnets. Recently, I went to the Virginia Renaissance Fair Festival. That was a pretty, fun experience. Like just there was there were a couple of musical acts there that were really impressive. Like the the older style, more traditional music songs. Says, as far as I can tell, Shakespeare wrote 154 sonnets. Um, Apparently, this website says they are poems of the highest quality. There are some that have entered deeply into the consciousness of our culture to become the most famous Shakespeare sonnets. Let's go ahead and look at them. Hang on. Let's see. Just trying to find one that I recognize really quick. I have right now. I do have a list of all of them in front of me. I believe a sonnet is 14 lines. It has a very strict iambic pentameter, and it has to rhyme. And usually, what you see with a sonnet is the first two lines in the sonnet are not the first two, but the last two lines of the sonnet are like a resolution. The first lines of the poem are like the writer trying to unravel the kind of problem that they're dealing with. For example, this is the most famous one, I would say, from Shakespeare. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May. In summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometimes too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. In every fair from fair sometimes declines, by chance of nature's changing course and trimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest. Nor shall death brag thou wondrous in his shade, when an eternal line to time thou growest. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. So that I think that poem, out of all of Shakespeare's poems, is my favorite one that I've heard so far. Essentially, the part that I like the most about it is of course, the resolution lines or the lines towards the end of the poem, where it talks about how because this person will gain immortality as a result of being written down in the verses. And in a sense, even if someone doesn't write a poem about you, it doesn't immortalize you with some kind of recorded memory, even the actions you do, they have an impact on time. Like if you feel like, even if you have the strict view that nothing, of course, that like the atheistic view that after you die, everything is over and that's the end of it. Like the things you do to impact other people around you, that has like sort of like, there's no denying that has eternal consequences, I would say. So that's what the main thing I would say about that poem, which is sonnet number 18, Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day? And of course, regarding poetry, a lot of people get a lot of the emotion or verse they get now, instead of from written poems, comes from songs. So I did want to look at least one set of song lyrics, but I actually did not do any planning on this. So let's see what I can find here. Let's look at this song. Hang on. It's by U2. It's called Every Breaking Wave. It's from one of their newer albums. Let's pull this up. Just wanted to show how people like there's a lot of poetic elements you can put in poems besides just rhyming. Of course, the metaphor. There's another thing that even the movie series Star Wars is pretty famous for, which is the fact that you can, of course, have reoccurring themes or motifs or scenes, sort of like scenes that resemble each other in part of the series, and then later on in the series you have another scene that resembles that same scene, sort of like how it's really poetic. This is what George Lucas said, really, that in the, of course, in episode 3, you have Anakin fighting against, I believe it was Count Dooku, and then Darth Sidious or Palpatine at the time is like, kill him, and then that mirrors exactly what happens in episode 6, where Palpatine is watching Luke fight Anakin or Darth Vader, and then the same thing happens. Sort of like that in that way. There's more ways to rhyme things than just having the words themselves rhyme. The sound of the words. Also, you can do things with the meaning of the words, and this is something I didn't really. I learned the hard way early on when I was, of course, learning about all of these things and about poetry. Is that what was I saying? That you can have more ways to rhyme something than just having the words rhyme. More ways to make something make a lot of sense, like have poetic meaning, than simply having where was I going with that? Than simply having the I'm losing my train of thought. Okay, than simply having the phonetic sound the way it is. But anyway, I'm going to open up this song. Let's just go over the lyrics here. This is Every Breaking Wave by U2, which is one of their later albums. It came out in 2014. With this album, they actually made it free for everyone on iPhone who has an iPhone. So it just randomly appeared on everyone's phone. And they Apple later on apologized for that and made it so that you had to do this special process in order to get rid of the song from your phone. But that's beside the point. So this is the first line. Every breaking wave on the shore tells me the next one, there'll be one more. And every gambler knows that to lose is what they're really there for. Summer, I was fearless. Now I speak into an answer phone. Like every fallen leaf on the breeze, winter wouldn't leave it alone. If you go your way, I go mine. Are we so helpless against the tide? Baby, every dog on the street knows that we're in love with defeat. And are we ready to be swept off our feet and stop chasing every breaking wave? And then verse 2, every sailor knows that the sea is a friend-made enemy. Every shipwrecked soul knows what it is to live without intimacy. I thought I heard the captain's voice, but it's so hard to listen while you preach. Like every breaking wave on the shore, this is as far as I could reach. And then it goes to the chorus again. Then you have the bridge. The sea knows where the rocks are, and drowning is no sin. You know where my heart is, the same place that yours has been. We know that we fear to win, and so we end before we begin. And that does the chorus again, which it goes like, if you go your way, then I go mine. Are we so helpless against the tide? Baby, every dog on the street knows that we're in love with defeat. Essentially, the line I want to focus on this is, let's see, every shipwrecked soul knows what it means to live without intimacy. Basically, everyone who's looking at this will know that Bono there is doing an actual kind of metaphor. The metaphor here is he's comparing someone being shipwrecked to being someone who's alone or without someone to fall back on or without anyone to be with them. Let's see. And that kind of like is the main theme of a lot of poetry. I feel like without those basic connections with other people, life becomes sort of like very mundane. And I feel like even with human connection, just even not necessarily romantic connection, but just even with a friend or with someone who you're close to or someone who you can just talk to and express your thoughts to, that connection is essential to the experience of existing or living in the world, I would say. And that's really the main point of this poem. I just wanted to, I'm on genius.com. I'm just going to quickly review some of the notes. So the line, of course, about every breaking wave on the shore tells the next one there'll be one more. This is the genius annotation. Through every wave will meet its end when it breaks on the shore. There will always be another wave, just as good as times come and go. When he's chasing breaking waves, he'll be stuck in the past, chasing happy memories from before. The lyrics suggest these waves, the one that is breaking, the next one, and one more. So the wave that breaks tells the next one that it too is impermanent, and we all soon will break, and another wave will come behind it. The imagery, along with others in the song, also touches on dealing with loss after success and the fleetingness of popularity. If we imagine Bono as the first wave, he could be telling the next big thing to remember that popularity doesn't last forever. Just as you came after me, there's always another one up and comer, following immediately on your tail. This aligns with stories about Bono trying to help Oasis founder Noel Gallagher um, deal with the pressure of fame. So essentially, even someone, of course, who does not have any like monetary fame in the world, or doesn't have much regarding, being liked or having a lot of friends or stuff like that. Like even with the experiences you have wherever you are in life, uh, the there's a reoccurring thought that everyone has, or at least in my opinion, that at least in the back of their mind, that everything is going to end and that life does not last forever. And this is something that I really struggle with a lot in my life. Really recently, it's been causing a lot of sort of like depressive thoughts about how like everything in the world is going to eventually end. And let's see. Let's see. Here we go. And that was really a profound thought, and at the same time, a really, depressing thought, that everything in the world, that no matter how beautiful it is, or no matter how um, wonderful something can be, that it's going to ultimately come to an end, and that there's nothing real or substantial that you can do to delay the coming of the end of all things. And um, essentially, you're hopeless against the tide of the breaking waves that are coming against you. And that's really what I take away from that song. And then it couples that with the line, every shipwrecked soul knows what it is to live without intimacy, that it's kind of like a hopeless thing. And then you're looking for at the same time, you're looking for a voice that's going to guide you or show you that someone has authority in the world. But then the character in the speaker of the poem says, I thought I heard the captain's voice, but it's hard to listen while you preach. Like every broken wave on the shore, this is as far as I could reach. So it's bringing the metaphor. It's a double metaphor in this sense, since it refers to both the experiences, or the person themselves that's having those experiences um, being broken, in the sense of the wave reaching the shore and then it's gone and then it's over. In the same way that your experiences are fleeting in the world, such as your social status, your life itself is also fleeting, which is something a lot of people try to shy away from, try to distract from with partying or whatever it may be, or with their job or work, or but eventually, essentially, if there isn't this foundation that protects you from, gives you hope and shows you that there is something greater going on here, then really everything is nihilistic and meaningless. But that's just the profound idea that I took from that poem. Essentially, it's very, not a poem, but it's a song. It's a very powerful song. Let me just go ahead and post the link to this in the chat here. There's the link. Okay, to that. That's going to be the YouTube lyrics to that song. And I think genius.com is a very valuable asset in this regard. And I am about out of time for tonight. I do try to keep a consistent stream, just to get at the very least, get more experience with these kind of things. Even on multiple platforms, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Twitch, YouTube. At first I was like, I'm just going to go ahead and stream these platforms one at a time. But then I was like, no, I just want to do it all at once. Use like a service that lets me do it all at once, which in this case is Restream.io, which I'm using. But I believe that's all I had for tonight. It was really a great conversation that was had so far, and I am going to sign out. So everyone, of course, um, the if you go to my YouTube channel, you would see that I do have all my audiobooks on the YouTube channel. If you're interested, and also everyone have a good night. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let me go ahead and end